Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from a sort of interestinglife.com. You're joining me out on the canal on a nice 4-mile walk on an absolutely glorious morning. As you can see, once again, so glorious that the camera can't pick up just how beautiful a day it is. But heck, even then it's struggling to pick up the blue in the sky. And as I've been walking down here, I've been looking at the canal and remembering just how rough the sea was the other week when I was at the coast. And then I realised that I have not actually done a video showing you some of the incredibly bumpy kayaking and very windy conditions that I tried to kayak in. I apologise if you can't see me face or you can't see that or whatever's going on in this video, but don't worry, in just a moment we're about to cut to some proper wavy bumpy sea kayaking. I will warn you though, because of that, it's definitely not the most stable filming that I've ever done. Right, without further ado, let's take one moment to look at about 15 seconds of canal kayaking and then hop to the seaside. So, as you can see, the canal is looking exactly like you would expect it to. Very calm, very still and relaxing. Barely a ripple on the water apart from the ones that I am making myself with me paddling. But if we skip to the coast, what a beautiful scene on a beautiful day. But it's a little bit windy, which you can't really pick up from the camera until you look at the sea. Now, luckily, the wind was blowing in towards the shore, otherwise I'd have never dared to go out there because I would have just been blown away across the goodness knows where I would have ended up, basically. But as you can see, we're making a very swift transaction here from being out of the kayak to being in the kayak, and immediately you can see just how rough and bumpy it is. Now, this isn't any sort of extreme deep sea, middle of the ocean sort of waves, but for me who's used to being on the canal, it was definitely a very different experience. And you're seeing Sarah just on the screen there now, and she had the perfect quote to sum up what my kayak experience was like, that every time she looked up to see where I was in the same place, because it was basically a constant battle between me and the wind, me to try and get back in front of the sand, and the wind to blow me just off to the left-hand side of the screen and just away from the sand onto the stones. So like I say, every time that I moved, every time that I stopped moving my arms, I started moving backwards, which was definitely making for an interesting and very tiring experience as we crashed through the waves there. Very dramatic footage, I'm sure. It was a completely different experience, very, very tiring because I'm not used to using my arms for quite such frantic, constant work. But it was all great fun, and as we ride the waves into the shore again here, I'll wrap things up and say I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at just a random very windy day at the coast, and until the next time, check out my other videos, loads of boating and kayaking and biking and outdoors and scenery in general. Feel free to add me on Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of stuff, and please do consider checking out my narrowboat books on Amazon. Find links to everything mentioned in the description below and an awful lot more. Until the next time, keep it paddle worthy, keep it boat worthy, and of course, farewell.